Morning, guys. It's been a week or so since I made a video. I wanted to make one this morning. Yesterday, I got a 24-hour ban off Facebook. And the content is all scientifically proven facts. And the community standard and the reason was down the lines of the information could be harmful or threatening. And the information was 5G. It's breaking down the scientifically proven evidence of oxygen molecules interacting at 60 gigahertz waveband. That's not a fucking theory. And yes, it is harmful and threatening to human life. So my question is, Facebook, they're on this censorship and it's bullshit. They are subliminally hiding information from the masses. And I have a feeling, because the funny thing is, what I shared was a fellow Facebook friend's post. And it was him where he typed it all out. So I'm thinking, damn, if they're going to pull this from my page and ban me for 24 hours, I'm sure they yanked his post as well, being I shared his post. I'll be damned if they didn't. So my question is, why me? And this is my theory, my assertion. I've been speaking a lot lately on Hillary Clinton being in court, addressing those emails, and the content of the emails, which is a sick rabbit hole. But it's something that needs to be fucking openly shared and acknowledged by the mass of our people, because it is an underlining fucking plague with these sick, twisted motherfuckers, and it has to do with our youth. And as crazy as it might sound, and I'm sure I'm going to get some comments on here, it has to do with fucking child sacrifice. Because it's funny, the FBI website admits it. The New York Police Department website admits it. They knew this shit back in 2016, and they found all this information on Anthony Weiner's fucking laptop computer. What they didn't expect to find is what they found. They were expecting to find some child pornography or some kind of information into the child trafficking rings, the sex rings. And what they'd fucking unfucking covered is something so much darker and deeper. And people's been talking about this shit for decades and decades. I mean, the practice goes back thousands and thousands of years. And it all has to do with a biochemical called adrenochrome. We're in a time now, guys, where I want to believe this whole QAnon. But I've been following Anonymous for the close to a couple decades, I guess. Way before Trump was in office. And if you followed Anonymous post-Trump, before Trump was president, you would see they were calling out everybody. They were leaking emails on everybody. They were putting everybody in any fucking high position, seat of power, under the microscope. And that's changed. But that's what I believe to be their diversion tactic. It's a double-edged sword. They're exposing these elite rings of the child sacrifice, because this shit will come out. It's only a matter of time before it does. And they're trying every which way they can to put their final chess pieces in place before it's exposed, because they know they're real hackers out there. Not this QAnon Not saying that they're not putting true information out, because they are. But what they're doing, they're putting this information out to win the trust back, to subliminally and subconsciously divert and carry out their own agenda, their own hidden motives. So what are we going to do? When I say we, I mean we the people. I mean the whole populace. Because right now, they're putting all these different diversion tactics on the board, from the COVID-19 to the George Floyd. Not saying that that ain't a situation that should be addressed, because it should. We've had police brutality for decades. This ain't something new. And it's not just black lives that are being abused and murdered. White lives are, Asian lives are, Hispanic lives are. The only difference between a decade ago and now is we all have cameras. We all have cameras that we can capture instantaneously with the press of a button. That is the only thing that's changed. But within these peaceful protests, the media is spinning riots and looting. And if you look at all the different videos of the individual peaceful protesters catching these Antifa members, and these are hired moles, like George Soros is the one that's funding this shit, where there's skids of bricks being dropped off in the middle of these protestment areas beforehand. No construction site, no legitimate reason for these skids of bricks to be sitting in the middle of these sidewalks. People see through their illusions. Don't play into their hands. They pull shit like bait and switch, the Kansas City Shuffle, where they'll say, watch this hand waving at you while this hand's picking your pocket. They've been using this psychological warfare for so long, and it's all got to do with reverse psychology. We got to unite. We have to take our shit back, because the government ain't going to address this shit efficiently, effectively. And it's all going to happen if we create it. We're given free will as co-creators. But the fact of the matter is, we unconsciously give up our greatest God-given ability. And our greatest God-given ability is through free will. We're able to create. We're able to manifest. But that's the thing. With this television, programming, networks, the media, they manipulate us into perpetuating their chaos. I mean, you could turn any fucking 9 out of 10 channels, within the first few minutes that you turn on, is going to have something down the lines of some form of a drama, sex, drugs, violence, war. And what's that doing to us? It's inflicting fear. And we unconsciously perpetuate this shit back into reality. We manifest this shit. And this is where I'm saying we got to take our shit back. Not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. Fuck, even financially. Because that's another one. We're all subliminally enslaved to a life of labor, debt, and sickness. And we live in the age and day of endless information at our fingertips. There's advancements in technologies that we could be living truly self-sustainably, real freedom, real independency. We could be creating electricity at our own homes, not paying for this shit, not paying $150, $200 a month. Water, we could be catching, filtering, and ionizing our own water from the privacy of our own home. There's another $50 to $150 bill every month. We could be growing food year-round. That's hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month. And it's reverse psychology. But the point of this video, well, there's multiple points. But we gotta stop buying tickets to their circuses. Until we the people unite, our government, our representatives are compromised. They're lobbied by elitists to push their laws, to push their subliminal hidden agendas. And it shouldn't be this way. It don't have to be this way. Because whether you know or not, we're all puppets. The only difference is some see their strings. Some are able to cut their strings. Because even myself, I still work for a corporation. I still pay an electric bill. I still pay a water bill. I'm still buying from these chain grocery stores. And that's the first thing we can do. Fuck voting for these puppet politicians. Vote with your dollar. Vote with your earnings. Because you're ultimately voting with your time. You give your time for money. We the people need to acknowledge and understand the applications of our constitutional rights, what our Declaration of Independence truly means and how it's applied, because we have the rights to declare ourselves independent and separate from any state or federal organizations or departments. And that's the thing, we've been subliminally enslaved to these fucking systems. Whether it's a birth certificate, our driver's license, I mean, it's endless. And there's loopholes. People just don't realize them. It don't get the mainstream pumping to the masses of men. We should be sovereign citizens. But instead, when we're born, our parents sign our birth certificate, turning us into a corporation driven by debt. Let's stop buying tickets to their circuses, guys. Let's come together because we're the true power. But it's until individuals wake up, and then when individuals wake up, we can come together collectively. That's where the real change starts. When we start putting our foot down together, standing as one, saying enough is enough, start holding these fucking career politicians that are only supposed to be making a couple $100,000 a year, but somehow their net worth are in the millions. Come on, y'all. I mean, they've crashed our economy. We're in the mix of their pandemic, where they're systematically killing our economy, creating a dependent populace. These little stimulus checks, these are a tool to psychologically condition the mass to accept dependency. Stop being a pawn on their chessboards. Acknowledge that knowledge is key. Our health is our foundation. Our belief is our success. And our wisdom is power. Don't underestimate your God-given abilities. Know what they are and exercise them. That's when the real life begins. I hope everybody create blessed days for themselves. I love you guys. One love.